Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now, this is New World post DLC, and I am currently in the middle of doing missions. As you can see, I still haven't started the main story. And for all of you who hated my proof videos, which told you not to watch and you watched, these videos are going to be exactly the same. They're going to be a first run through on the story missions, and it's based for my opinion because I'm doing that now so that people don't criticize me like crazy. Like when I make a series which is not to be watched, people were criticizing it like crazy. So I'm going to give you a chance to hear my opinion on things from a fair point of view. And in terms of this DLC, I'm going to rate it on two things. Number one, how does the DLC come across? Now I know that sounds a bit unfair, and it is a little bit unfair when you think about it overall, because I'm going to talk about the DLC from the external point of view. The leveling up, I'm not yet maxed out. As you can see, I'm a 64, and beyond that, from this entire area, you can tell that there's one or two things that are slightly different about the place. This is Eden Grove, by the way, and what's different about it is all of our outposts are gone.
All gone.
That is the big thing that happened here. The outposts all disappeared. The next thing to make this here a bit odd is we were given a ton of missions that are side quests that start off over here. Now I know that more side quests will open as I go along with the story, and it's for that reason that I most likely haven't been able to get everything. What is this? So that is the Elysian Shrine, sorry, the first quest that I had. These I still have to do. Not really so worried about that at the moment. So there's a lot to this whole DLC that has actually frustrated me. Now, for anybody who doesn't know this, I played the game from day one of launch. Basically, I was on the game, I've played it, I've seen what there is. This is the newest piece of the map, and this is post DLC, right? So this is from before the DLC, and as you can see, there's nothing here. There's nothing here, nothing here. This is the old end of peace areas. This is part of the original areas. Nothing, 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 nothing. Absolutely nothing here, nothing, nothing. Right. So you get the whole picture. They gave us nothing on a DLC, and you can hear that I'm a bit frustrated about that. No new map area. They reskinned one map area as Elysian Wilds, which I may have made the big mistake of understanding it as a new map area called Elysian Wilds. I expected that the Angry Earth took this place from us, and we were going to go and fight and take it back, and then fight them in a new area where they launched the whole Elysian Isles story from. Like, you know, no, this isn't Elysian Isles, this is Elysian Wilds. As you can hear, I believe it to be an isle. So I thought it was going to be an island that was connected by Angry Earth bridge that you needed the DLC to cross into. Because restricting entrance into a baseline area is a bit scummy. Okay, it's absolute scum, right? If this area has restricted entry and you require the DLC to enter into the place which you purchased in the first part of the game, it's an absolute piece of scum for them to have done it. Also, for them to advertise any content that was already released into the game as new content, just reskinned or whatever it might be, that is also absolute scum by my definition of good practices. And guess what? This entire area here was filled with missions. I've actually completed them all at the moment, and they were all our original storyline missions with minor modifications. There were modifications to give them more verbal entries and a little bit more story time. And all of that experience and everything that was there to drive you up to your higher levels in the previous runs of the game were now a big waste of time for you to go through. So yeah, that's what they did out here in Great Cleave. They made you rerun your story missions from the original storyline, not from the Isabella storyline, from the Thorpe storyline where he was here, and you have to go to these command centers, and there were 4 places you have to go, and you have to run, and you have to get items. Then you have to come here, go down, go up, go down, go up. Then you went over into Eden Grove, and you found out about the story of the Blight, and you blight the Mother Well, and the Mother Well was incredibly difficult to defeat. But yeah, that is no longer the way that it goes anymore. So yeah, things have changed. Instead, you get a crazy amount of mission here in Great Cleave. Then you enter into Eden Grove, and it's like there is a massive amount of new content. All of these are old missions that used to be here that weren't here anymore. Remember, I started this character new, and I already had a primary character who did all of the missions. So when I saw myself rehashing missions that weren't showing up for me, I realized exactly what I was doing. I was doing the missions that were supposed to have been here, that were just docked off so that they could say they gave us new content. And as you can see, it gripes me really bad, and I'm really hitting back hard for it, because I don't think that it's fair that I paid for my old content. Oh, we're going to take away your content. We're going to give you a map area with content that's meant to be part of your first year. Then we're going to charge you for downloadable content, DLC, which is going to expand the game. And we're going to give you back everything that you've already paid for, just with slight modifications. So that's what you paid for the DLC. And we're going to add a new storyline into it. Now, the new storyline is definitely going to be something that I'm going to judge on its own, because as I said, the game is crap. New World is a crap game in general. If you are going to play the game for value, you're better off buying Assassin's Creed. Need for Speed is definitely worth its value in time. Let's see, what else could I give you as a suggestion? Valheim, Minecraft, Ark Ascended, Ark 2, which is supposed to come out soon anyway. Basically, you can buy anything but this game and you would do much better. Ark is probably a far better version of this game, and Valheim is probably a far more engaging, more entertaining, far more DLC game than this. And you paid once for it, and you paid the same figure as this game for it, basically. So yeah, they're about the same value, and I would say that if I had to play Valheim and go from start to end and max out my character in Valheim and do every single thing in the game, it would take me around about 2 weeks. I need to change some audio settings, something is killing me here. Fantastic. Okay, right, there we go. Sorry about that. I also had other features that were messed up when I started the DLC. For example, my game requires me to delete its entire configuration every time I start it. Now, the reason why this is hilarious is this was a problem when the game first launched. It was actually fixed, and it's back. So how does that work? Oh well, it's simple. All that means is the devs were lazy. They didn't configure their files, and they just relaunched the entire game. Now, configuring files, I know why it's such a pain, because then you have clashes, and it can take you a few weeks or a few months to fix up all of your messes in programming. Yeah, that's just how it goes, and they most probably didn't want to go through a few weeks of work, or they weren't working for several weeks and they decided it would be easier on them if they did it this way. I made a mistake. Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, that is some of the things. In terms of mounts, one of the other scummy things is mounts are supposed to be part of our original content. One of the updates is supposed to have mounts for us, but mounts are stuck behind the paywall. And you know what? When companies of this size aren't held to account and people don't hold them to a quality standard, they generally keep going with their crap development.
You there?
And we definitely need to say something
I am.
about it.
The moment I smelled that flower, just get rid of them. Rip them up by their roots. Do it without breathing. No one else can suffer as I do.
Okay, so there are just for me to pick up this mission. Sorry about that. I know I'm playing the game while giving a discussion about it. So overall, the DLC brought nothing new in the overarching enemy types in the game. Now, you might be thinking of games like Destiny, where they add small pieces to the map each time and they extend little areas for a $60 DLC, and then in the next term they'll add a new area or they'll add an entire new storyline with a whole lot of quests and adventures and things for you to do. And when you compare that to this and you think about the fact that they at half the value of the DLC in economic value, and then you think about how much they've added, the graphic quality of the game versus that game, and the engines that the games run on, and your question is, why in the world did I pay $30 for this DLC? Because that's what it's advertised as. I would say that this DLC was more like a $2 DLC, to be honest, on fair pricing, just based on what they added into the game from the outside. I still have to play the main story, as I said, and the main story would have to be a 10 out of 10 thriller. I'd have to be on the edge of my seat at every single second of it. It would have to be so entertaining that I would call this a masterpiece, and I doubt that I'm going to call this game a masterpiece. Yeah, I know that's something you shouldn't do when reviewing, coming up with your idea before you even start. So yeah, that is going to be really difficult for me, and I think that I'm not going to like it. And here, the reason for that is because I've been playing already, and so far I'm not impressed with what they did. I think that most of the additions and most of the subtractions on the map have been really unnecessary. I don't see a reason for half of the things that they've done, for half of the additions and for half of the subtractions. Changing Eden Grove into an area where you can buy a house and leaving it at its old level is not an advisable move. If they upped it into the new level, it would make a problem for the old players, so they needed a new area. And if you're looking at what I'm about to show you here, you can see that the map has already been drawn with paths leading off into this area. That means there could have been a new area that could have been built right here above where this is, or something above Shattered Mountain, because Shattered Mountain is gone. Remember, we've defeated the enemy who was here, so we can find something up here, the Ancient's Ground or something like that there, the Beastkin. This here you can see as well, there's more connections. This here used to be empty connections. We saw what it was in the end when they took out this area. And just for by the way, this is just the skin over the map. That's all that they had to do. And on this side, we know that it's a coastline, so it's not really likely for them to put in anything. It's very difficult, which is why I was wondering what in the world they were thinking when they took away First Light. And yeah, that's all of my opinions on this DLC. Now, as you can see, I am really giving it a negative review in terms of the initial value. The initial value, I'll say that it's too expensive if you are paying anything more than $10 for the DLC, right, in the initial concept. With the DLC storyline, I might give it another $5, at max $10. So I would say that it's overpriced by about $30. But if they include another 3 DLCs and extendable content for the rest of the year, I might change my mind on what I am rating the game and say that the game is worth at least that value. And as you can see, I'm saying it's only worth $10 with their reskins. That's me being extraordinarily generous, and a lot of people will understand why it's being generous because they didn't give us anything. Now, I hope that you all choose wisely with regards to whether you're downloading the game or not. And if you are downloading the game, just heed my warning. There is nothing much to be gained initially. It's only after you start the story that you may gain something. I will find out, and you will be along with me as I find out. So you're going to get my live reactions on my videos. They'll be 2 hour long like I used to do in the past, and my unfiltered opinion will be added to that. So I hope to catch you all the moment I start that, and that's as soon as these side missions are all wiped out. So have a good day. Catch you in the next one.